Have you ever paused for a moment while preparing your meal and wondered, is what I'm about to eat helping me or quietly hurting me? We grow up believing that if it tastes good, fills us up, and doesn't make us sick right away, it must be safe. But the truth is far more unsettling. Some of the most common foods on our plates, foods we've trusted for years, might be the very ones putting our hearts in danger. Yes, you heard that right. Certain everyday foods are slowly, silently damaging our arteries, raising our blood pressure, and increasing our risk of heart disease. In fact, studies show that up to 60% of heart attack cases are connected to diet-related factors. But here's the thing. Many people don't even realize it's happening until it's too late. So in this video, we're going to talk about 6 foods that are toxic to your heart. Foods that seem harmless, but may be shortening your life, one bite at a time. And don't worry, I won't just tell you what to avoid. I'll also share simple, heart-friendly alternatives you can start using today. Because protecting your heart shouldn't feel like punishment. It should feel like empowerment. And if you're new here, welcome to the Senior Fit family. If you care about your health, your loved ones, and your future, consider subscribing and tapping the notification bell so you never miss a new lesson. Your support means so much, and together we can build a stronger, healthier community. Now, let's begin with the first food that may be quietly sabotaging your heart every day. 1. Non-hydrogenated vegetable oils, the hidden danger in your frying pan. You see it in almost every kitchen. A bottle of vegetable oil labeled as heart-healthy, cholesterol-free, or light and pure. And why not? It's affordable, easy to cook with, and seems like a better choice than heavy animal fats. But here's what most people don't realize. Many of these so-called non-hydrogenated vegetable oils, especially when used for frying or high-heat cooking, can become dangerously toxic. How? It all comes down to what happens when they're heated. Vegetable oils like soybean oil, corn oil, sunflower oil, or even canola oil contain polyunsaturated fats. While they sound scientific, the reality is that these fats are highly unstable at high temperatures. When you heat them, especially during frying, they begin to break down. Their molecules twist, deform, and release free radicals, tiny but destructive compounds that damage your body at the cellular level. These free radicals don't just float around, they attack. They target your blood vessels. They cause oxidative stress, an invisible fire inside your body. And over time, this stress stiffens and inflames your arteries, leading to atherosclerosis, or plaque buildup inside the artery walls. Once that happens, the stage is set for high blood pressure, reduced circulation, and eventually, heart attacks or strokes. But that's not all. These heated oils can also generate trans fats, even if the label says non-hydrogenated. Trans fats are one of the worst things you can put in your body. They increase bad cholesterol, LDL, and lower good cholesterol, HDL. The perfect recipe for a cardiovascular disaster. And here's the truly heartbreaking part. Many people continue using these oils every single day, unaware that their cooking oil could be slowly breaking their heart. Literally, they use them in stir fries, in fried snacks, in baked goods. They think they're choosing a healthier path, when in fact, they're feeding a time bomb inside their chest. I remember visiting an old friend's home a few years ago. She made the most delicious fried eggplant dish. crispy, golden, and fragrant. But when I asked what oil she used, she proudly held up a bottle of cheap vegetable oil, saying, "It's cholesterol-free." She didn't know. She had no idea that what she was using to nourish her family was slowly putting them at risk. And that's what scares me the most. Not what we do wrong knowingly, but what we do in ignorance, thinking it's right. But here's the good news. Changing your oil could be one of the simplest, most powerful steps you take for your heart. There are oils that are more stable at high heat and far less likely to turn toxic. Try switching to extra virgin olive oil for low to medium heat cooking, avocado oil for higher heat frying, or coconut oil, which stays stable even under intense heat. These oils are rich in antioxidants, healthy fats, and natural compounds that support your heart instead of harming it. It may feel like a small change, but trust me, your arteries will thank you. Because every time you choose a cleaner, safer oil, you're choosing life. You're choosing vitality. You're choosing to be there longer for the people who love you most. 2. Margarine, the imposter. Masquerading as a hero. Let's talk about something that's been sitting quietly in our refrigerators for decades. Margarine. If you're like many older adults, you might remember when margarine was celebrated as a healthy alternative to butter. The commercials promised us lighter hearts, leaner bodies, and fewer calories. Switch from butter to margarine, they said, and you'll live longer. But they were wrong. Margarine is one of the greatest dietary deceptions of the modern era. Why? Because margarine is built on trans fats. Those artificially engineered fats created by forcing hydrogen into vegetable oil to make it solid at room temperature. That's what gives margarine its creamy texture. But that creamy texture comes at a terrifying cost. Trans fats do two devastating things inside your body. They raise LDL cholesterol, the bad kind that clogs your arteries. They lower HDL cholesterol, the good kind that helps clear the bad stuff out. It's a deadly double whammy. It creates the perfect storm for artery blockages, heart attacks, and strokes. And the worst part? You don't feel it happening. There's no immediate symptom. No warning siren. You just go about your day, spreading margarine on toast, cooking with it in pans, baking it into muffins, while the silent damage continues underneath the surface. What's more, trans fats cause inflammation. And chronic inflammation is now considered a major factor behind not just heart disease, but type 2 diabetes, cancer, and even Alzheimer's disease. It's frightening when you think about it. And yet, despite overwhelming research showing the dangers of trans fats, some margarine brands are still quietly adding them, especially in cheaper, lower quality products. That's why reading labels isn't enough. You have to look deeper. Check the ingredients for words like partially hydrogenated oils. That's the real red flag. Now, I want to be clear. This isn't about shame. If you've been using margarine for years, you didn't do anything wrong. You were following the advice you were given. But now that you know the truth, you have the power to do better. So what's the better choice? Believe it or not, real butter, in moderation, is safer than margarine, especially if it's from grass-fed cows. Butter provides healthy fats and fat-soluble vitamins like A, D, E, and K. Or, for even better heart protection, switch to plant-based oils like olive oil, avocado oil, or even nut butters. These options not only avoid trans fats, they actively support a healthy cardiovascular system. Just imagine this for a moment. You wake up in the morning. You spread a little natural almond butter on whole grain toast. You know it's nourishing your body, not harming it. You sip a warm cup of green tea. Your day begins not with guilt, but with gratitude. That's the power of knowledge. That's the beauty of choosing better. And that's the beginning of a heart-healthy life. 3. Processed cheddar cheese. When flavor comes at a cost. Let me ask you something personal. Have you ever reached into the fridge, pulled out a slice of cheddar cheese, and thought, a little bit won't hurt? You melt it over toast, layer it in a sandwich, sprinkle it over your soup, and with each bite, it feels comforting, familiar, delicious. But sometimes, the foods that bring us the most comfort also bring the most danger, especially when they come in processed form. Now, I'm not here to say that all cheese is bad. In fact, real aged cheeses in moderation can be part of a healthy diet. But processed cheddar cheese, the kind you often find in individually wrapped slices, pre-shredded bags, or squeeze bottles, can pose serious threats to your heart. Why? Because it contains hidden trans fats and massive amounts of sodium. And just like with margarine, trans fats raise your bad cholesterol, LDL, lower your good cholesterol, HDL, and inflame your arteries. Over time, this leads to the hardening of arteries, a condition called atherosclerosis. Atherosclerosis doesn't happen overnight. It builds slowly, silently, until one day it closes in. It may take years before the signs appear. Shortness of breath, chest tightness, dizziness. By then, it could already be too late. And sodium, well, that's another ticking time bomb. You see, cheese is naturally salty. But processed cheese? It's loaded with excessive sodium that pushes your blood pressure through the roof. And when blood pressure rises, your heart has to work harder, pumping more forcefully just to keep blood moving. It's like asking an old engine to run on overdrive every single day. Eventually, it wears down. But what's most heartbreaking is how quiet this damage is. You don't feel your arteries narrowing. You don't feel your blood thickening. You don't feel your heart working overtime until something gives out. And that's when it hits. Sometimes it's a minor warning, a scare, a trip to the ER. Sometimes it's far worse. So how much is that creamy, processed cheddar cheese really worth? I remember talking to a gentleman after a heart surgery. He was in his late 60s, eyes filled with regret. I didn't know, he said. I just thought cheese was cheese. I never read the label. And how many of us do? But you don't have to give up flavor to protect your heart. There are better options out there. Choose natural cheeses in small portions, like goat cheese or fresh mozzarella, which are lower in sodium and easier to digest. Better yet, try flavorful plant-based spreads made from nuts or vegetables. And always, always check the labels. If the ingredients list sounds more like a chemistry experiment than a food, it's time to walk away. Because flavor should never cost you your future. 4. White bread, the soft killer in every kitchen. There's something nostalgic about white bread. It reminds many of us of childhood. Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, grilled cheese, French toast on lazy Sunday mornings. It's soft, convenient, cheap, and it's everywhere. But white bread is not your friend. In fact, it's one of the most deceptive and damaging foods in our modern diet, especially for older adults. Why? Because white bread is made from refined carbohydrates, stripped of fiber, stripped of nutrients, and processed until all that remains is sugar in disguise. Here's what happens the moment you eat it. Your body breaks it down almost instantly into glucose, flooding your bloodstream with sugar. Your pancreas kicks into overdrive, releasing insulin to manage the spike. At first, this might not seem like a big deal, but over time, your body begins to resist insulin signals. This condition is called insulin resistance, the foundation of type 2 diabetes. It's like a door that stops opening when insulin knocks, leaving sugar trapped in your blood. And that sugar, it becomes toxic. It inflames your blood vessels, damages your arteries, feeds fat cells, and increases your risk of heart disease, stroke, and even dementia. But it doesn't stop there. White bread, lacking fiber, also disrupts digestion. It leaves you hungry again soon after eating, leading to overeating and weight gain. And when combined with other refined foods, it creates a dangerous cycle of cravings, crashes, and more cravings. I remember talking to a widow in her 70s who shared something with tears in her eyes. Her late husband used to eat white bread with every meal. He loved it so much, she whispered. He thought it was harmless, but he struggled with blood sugar for years, and then his heart gave out. It broke her heart and mine, because these aren't just stories. They're real lives, real families, and yet the solution is so simple. Switch to whole grains. Choose bread made from 100% whole wheat, spelt, oats, or rye. These options are rich in fiber, B vitamins, and antioxidants that help regulate blood sugar and support heart health. Fiber slows digestion, reduces cholesterol, and keeps you feeling full longer. A slice of whole grain bread isn't just healthier, it's smarter. It's kinder to your body. It's a sign of respect to the heart that's been working tirelessly to keep you alive all these years. So the next time you're reaching for that soft white loaf at the grocery store, pause. Ask yourself, am I feeding my body or fooling it? Because every bite matters. Every choice counts. And it's never too late to start making better ones. 5. Processed meats, the salted shadows of the past. Have you ever unwrapped a package of sausage or sliced ham, closed your eyes, and thought of simpler times? Maybe it reminded you of family picnics, breakfasts with loved ones, or holiday gatherings filled with laughter and warmth. Food has a powerful way of connecting us to memory. And processed meats, sausages, salami, bacon, hot dogs, deli slices are often at the center of those memories. But what if I told you these very foods are now putting your heart in danger? Processed meats are one of the most harmful types of food for cardiovascular health, and yet they remain among the most commonly eaten. Why? Because they're quick, easy, flavorful, and yes, familiar. But here's what they also are: loaded with sodium, saturated fats, and toxic preservatives. Let's start with the sodium. Processed meats are packed with salt, not just for flavor, but to preserve them. And while salt might seem harmless, too much of it can be devastating to your heart. Excess sodium causes your body to retain water, which increases blood volume. That means your heart has to pump harder. Your arteries stiffen under the pressure. Over time, your blood pressure rises, sometimes without you even knowing it. And when high blood pressure becomes a regular part of your life, it starts to damage the delicate lining of your arteries, making it easier for plaque to build up and blockages to form. It's like slowly tightening a rope around your own heart, one slice at a time. Now add to that the saturated fat content in these meats. These fats clog your arteries like grease in an old pipe. They lead to the buildup of LDL cholesterol and reduce the flow of oxygen-rich blood to your brain, your limbs, and of course, your heart. Then comes the part that breaks my heart the most. Nitrates and nitrites. These are chemical preservatives added to processed meats to keep them fresh-looking and shelf-stable. But when they enter your body, especially in high amounts, they can transform into carcinogenic compounds, the same kind of substances as voices that damage cells and led to cancer. I once sat with a gentleman in his early 70s who told me he ate bacon every morning for 30 years. It was part of his daily ritual. It's what my father ate, and I figured if it was good enough for him, it was good enough for me. But when he ended up in the hospital with a heart attack, the first thing his doctor asked was about his diet. "We never knew," he told me, his voice cracking. "We just never knew." But now you know. And with that knowledge comes the power to make a better choice. Instead of processed meats, try lean, fresh alternatives: roasted chicken breast, grilled fish, tofu, tempeh, or heart-healthy legumes like lentils and beans. Yes, the flavor might be different, but the gift it brings is more years with your loved ones. And no sausage, no bacon, no deli slice is worth the moments you could miss with the people who matter most. 6. Soda, the sweet lie that's hard to swallow. Now, let's talk about something that's everywhere. And yet, it's so much more dangerous than it appears. Soda. It's bubbly, refreshing, sweet, a companion to meals, a treat on a hot day. But soda is not just a drink. It is a health hazard in disguise. Each can of soda contains more sugar than your body is built to handle in one sitting. In fact, many sodas pack in up to 10 teaspoons of sugar, and that sugar doesn't just pass through your system quietly. No, it leaves a trail of destruction in its wake. First, it floods your bloodstream. Your pancreas scrambles to produce insulin. Your body stores the sugar as fat, especially visceral fat, the dangerous kind that wraps around your organs and inflames your body from the inside. This inflammation doesn't just lead to weight gain. It leads to insulin resistance, type 2 diabetes, and most critically, heart disease. But there's more. That sugar spike also triggers oxidative stress, which damages blood vessels. It raises triglycerides, thickens the blood, and puts an overwhelming load on the heart. The result? Increased risk of heart attacks, strokes, and even sudden cardiac events. And diet sodas? Don't be fooled. While they may not have sugar, they come with artificial sweeteners that confuse the body. They trick your brain into thinking sugar is coming, leading to increased appetite, sugar cravings, and yes, weight gain. Some studies suggest these sweeteners may even disrupt gut health, worsen metabolic conditions, and increase the risk of cardiovascular events, just like regular soda. What's worse is that many people believe soda is harmless because it doesn't cause immediate pain. But like so many of the foods we've talked about, the damage is silent and cumulative. I'll never forget a conversation with a woman in her 60s who shared, "I used to drink 2 sodas a day. I thought it gave me energy. But now I'm pre-diabetic. My blood pressure is high, and I can't sleep well. I never made the connection until it was too late." But it's not too late for you. You don't have to quit everything overnight. But every time you say no to soda, you're saying yes to your heart, to your brain, to your energy, to your future. Swap soda for sparkling water, infused water with fruit, unsweetened iced tea, or a refreshing glass of herbal tea. Your taste buds will adjust, and your body will thank you. Because the real sweetness in life doesn't come from a bottle. It comes from waking up each day feeling stronger, living longer, and sharing more time with those who love you. Let's take a moment to reflect. We've talked about 6 foods that many of us have grown up with. Foods that feel normal, comforting, and even necessary. But now, we know the truth. Beneath their familiarity lies danger. Let's recap what we've learned. Non-hydrogenated vegetable oils, when heated, create toxic compounds and free radicals that damage blood vessels and fuel heart disease. Margarine, once marketed as a healthier alternative, is filled with trans fats that raise bad cholesterol, lower good cholesterol, and inflame the body from within. Processed cheddar cheese is high in trans fats and sodium, putting you at risk for high blood pressure, clogged arteries, and increased stroke risk. White bread, made from refined carbs, spikes blood sugar, increases insulin resistance, and promotes chronic inflammation, fueling heart disease over time. Processed meats, like sausages and deli slices, are packed with salt, saturated fats, and preservatives that strain your heart and increase cancer risk. Soda, both regular and diet, overloads your system with sugar or artificial sweeteners, raising the risk of obesity, diabetes, and cardiovascular decline. It's a sobering list. But here's something I want you to remember. Knowledge is not meant to bring guilt. It's meant to bring freedom. You are not to blame for what you didn't know. We've all made choices thinking we were doing the right thing. We trusted labels. We trusted traditions. We trusted the familiar. But now you know better. And because of that, you can do better. Even the smallest change can begin to shift your health in the right direction. You can swap that bottle of vegetable oil for a heart-healthy olive oil. You can trade margarine for a modest serving of real butter or avocado spread. You can skip the processed cheese and enjoy a piece of fruit with nuts instead. You can choose whole grain bread over the white, empty kind. You can roast fresh meat instead of reaching for the cured package. And you can say no to soda and yes to your heart. Every time you make that better choice, you're voting for your future. You're telling your heart, I care about you. I want you to keep beating strong. I want to live long enough to hold my grandchildren's hands, to walk freely through my garden, to share more birthdays, to enjoy mornings without pills and nights without pain. It's not about perfection. It's about intention. And your intention to live a healthier, longer life begins right now. I know making changes in life, especially after 60, 70, or even 80 years, can feel overwhelming. But please don't let that stop you. Your body is still listening. Every day it repairs. Every day it adjusts. Every day it hopes you'll give it what it truly needs. And the best part? It's never too late. I've seen people in their 70s and 80s completely transform their health just by changing what they eat, just by choosing life-giving foods over processed ones, just by becoming aware of what they once ignored. And you can be one of those people. You deserve more energy. You deserve peace of mind. You deserve more time. And more than anything, you deserve a strong, healthy heart that carries you for years to come. So, what can you do right now? Look in your kitchen. What oils, breads, snacks, or drinks could be swapped out for something better? Start small. Replace one food at a time. Try new recipes. Cook with love, not fear. Listen to your body. It will reward you. You'll feel lighter, clearer, calmer, maybe even happier. Share this video. Help someone else open their eyes before it's too late. If this message touched you, if you learned something new, or if you feel inspired to take control of your health, please let me know in the comments. Type "I choose my heart" below if you're ready to make the change. Your story matters. Your health matters. And I'm here to walk with you every step of the way. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Tap that notification bell so you never miss a video that could save your life or the life of someone you love. We talk about real issues for real people in a way that's gentle, respectful, and full of hope. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit like and share it with someone you care about. Because our mission is simple but powerful: to help older adults live longer, healthier, more joyful lives. One day, one meal, one choice at a time. Until next time, take care of your heart, and it will take care of you. Stay strong, stay informed, and stay well.